Volkswagen's back. Is here for. I had to do a crank seal and a drive belt. That'd be in a previous video. I just want to address some things since I had the other video up and I had the misfires, and I know I changed the plug with a hotter plug. It didn't belong in here. You know, I had a mass dislike. I had one dislike. Can you believe that? Anyway, point being, I want to pull the plugs out, inspect the plugs since I got it here, see what they looking like, and also I want to show you what I would do, what I've done to help eliminate misfires. Besides the fact of cleaning the charge pipe because it has a lot of oil in there. If you look at the video with the crank seal, you'll see that there was oil when I pulled the charge pipe off. Oil came dripping out. Now it's an indication that potentially the turbo's bad or the breather is defective. I already changed this breather. Didn't do a video on it, my bad. But it's changed. Lady been driving the car ever since. Haven't been having any issues. I did put a question mark on this one that was questionable, had a questionable misfire. So I'm gonna pull the plugs out, take a look at the plugs, inspect those since I put a hotter plug in there, and then I'm gonna show you what I do to help with misfires as far as preventative maintenance. And I made this device last time it was here, and simply put, it just goes into. See if I can get this off here. Simply just goes inside of here. Fits in there just nice and neat. Creates vacuum, and from with this straw here, because I'll spray the brake cleaner, carb cleaner, inside of there while I'm holding the RPM up, and it'll suck in the fluid. Make sure the place is well ventilated because this shit is strong. But these non-chlorinated formula isn't as strong as the older version. So they changed the Krabby Patty formula for brake cleaner. Damn it, O'Reilly's. But anyway, it'll suck it in, clean the intake valves, and just do your Italian tune-up or whatever, however hell you drive it. And at least it's cheap. It's a cheap alternative during oil changes that'll help prolong the life of the intake valves. Like I said, to help prevent misfires. Now, don't hold me on this. It's not completely conclusive because I have not pulled the intake valves off yet. Inspect the valves. But I will say, ever since I've done this, there hasn't been misfiring, and the lady literally came like a month, 2 months ago, a month and a half. Yeah, look at the other video. But never have any problems. She's been keeping me updated, which is a great thing. But today, I do still have those hotter plugs in there. I'm going to pull those plugs out, see what those plugs look like, and I'm going to go over just doing a preventative maintenance. So I'm just going to pull just two out. I'm not going to pull all of them. I think one was a problem also. I think it was at one point, so I'm going to pull just 3 out of 4. It's a good odd. Here's one, which looks pretty good. Let's see. Here's cylinder 1. It's got autofocus on there. Damn thing of focus. So here's one, which looks okay. Two. Seems like it's been showing some signs of I've been showing a little sign of heat there. And reasons being that electrode is kind of falling off a little bit. Here's 3. Now this one looks a little bit fouled. This is the worst out of the bunch. I will say, again, the reason why I put the hotter plug in there is because the car has been consuming oil, and being that it's been consuming oil, the hotter plug is at least going to burn that oil off a lot more efficient than the cooler plug that's been in there. I'm going to clean these plugs while I got them out, and I might as well go ahead and pull 4 out and clean that also, and inspect that right here. This looks the best out of the bunch. This looks great, actually. So here's the last one here. I got them all cleaned up and gapped around 35 to 40 thousandths here. So I'm gonna get them all installed. This is number 4. And then we'll clean them, clean the intake. All right, got everything back together with the spark plugs in there. Now I'm still aware that the heat range is still out of what the factory called for, but you know, like I said, I'm taking consideration like Ford. They had a revised plug for a hotter version because of, you know, misfire issues. I mean, and it happens. You know, it's being monitored. You know, and is obviously working. So she's not having any more misfires, and I'm going to again clean the intake, try to free it up of any type of oil residue that's in there as a preventative maintenance. So again, I'm just going to take oh shit, yeah, gosh darn it. So I got a can of brake cleaner here. I'm just going to use one whole can. It's very cheap. You don't have to sit there and spend waste your money on like you know, Lucas products. So simply, I got some vacuum tube and got a reducer and just super glued the straw that comes with this can here into the reducer. I think it's like a 1/8, was it 1/8 size vacuum line. So simply, I'll just start it up and just spray it in there. And what I'll do is also, since I got it long enough, I'll just hold the RPM up and just admit it until this engine starts stumbling and putting a little bit, and then I'll just let off of it and continue to slowly introduce the brake cleaner here until the can's gone. I mean, you can stop and let it soak. Thing is, I think this is more oil based than what was out there before. And this doesn't evaporate, and it's not as toxic as the chlorinated, I guess, the brake cleaner, because this is not as strong, but still you want to be in a well ventilated area. Like I said, this is like, I would do this like every oil change if I own this car, but being that I just started working on this lady car, and you know, she is still running great. She don't mind being a test subject, you know, especially when we can kind of keep this misfire at a minimum to non-existent. So let me start it up. So again, I mean, I'll just administer it. I mean, it's going to start misfiring, so you're going to have to clear the codes if it come up. But I want to sit in the car, rev it up, and just keep administering this until it runs out. Alright, so strong here. Should have backed half of the car out of here. But I just shut it down. I'm going to let it sit there and soak a little bit. Brake cleaner is a pretty good solvent. You know, I don't know if you ever took it and cleaned your intake valves while the cylinder head's out. But I'm going to let it soak a little bit, give about a couple minutes. Then I'll start it back up and just let it run until it smooths out. But just one can, I guess, with the oil change. I mean, the can is what like $3. You know, you can get some vacuum line and construct this device here for less than $5. But I got this little cap here from like motors and stuff I'll be doing, and I just drilled a hole through here, put a vacuum reducer in there, and that's what we got. So the thing is, there was plenty of oil in the turbocharger. There's going to be oil that collected in the intake. So, you know, it'd be a good idea to take the charge pipe down and clean the oil out the charge pipe. And that's what I did a while ago. The good thing is the oil has to overcome a peak. So oil's heavy. This doesn't make that much boost. So the oil is going to have to be picked up, and at least it'll sit in the valley, so it'll be easier to clean. So such as where I pulled the intake off, you look at the other video, it's in the charge pipe in the valley, and then it collected also down on the lower charge pipe here that goes to intake. So you can clean those out. It'll definitely help a whole lot with the misfire. But I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna let this sit there soak, get everything buttoned back up, and clean up my mess here. Take it on test drive, recheck my crank seal, make sure that's not leaking, and scan the car for any check engine light codes that may have developed as a result of me doing this. Clear them, and I probably might do that before I take off, and I should be good to go. But this is just an update for the spark plugs. We'll see how they look. They were still discolored, but they were not as bad as they were originally when I pulled them out. Yes, like I said, they are in the hotter heat range, but you can adjust the gap to help control, you know, somewhat of the heat. It's not going to be much, but it'll help. The problem is that oil will start to collect, and it will start to bridge those electrodes, and it'll kill the efficiency of the spark, since it's going to lessen the contact from the ground and electrode. So that's why you start getting a misfire. But the heat range that I put in there, they're working okay. It's probably not a good idea, but the lady drives like a grandma. So I don't have to worry about her dogging the car and putting an excessive amount of heat into the cylinders. So normal everyday driving seems to be working out for her. And like I said, she's been keeping me up about what's going on with this car. I don't think I have anything else to contribute other than, you know, the car does need a turbo. It will be good. I did let her know that it will be a wiser decision to change the turbo, being that I know I cleaned that oil out the intake and they still developed in charge pipe. I'm sorry, I cleaned the oil out the charge pipe and they still developed there. So probably be a good idea to change that turbo and to help kill some of that oil consumption that's contributing to the misfire. So the less oil you got going into the intake or it consuming, the better off you're going to be with maintaining or dealing with these misfires. So other than that, hey, you know, if anything happens in this car, you're not going to know. Hit the subscribe link, stay informed, have the reassurance of my work, and so on to the next one. I just want to show you the stuff that came out of the tailpipe there. There's some trying to get all that oil cleaned out. I mean, it's a lot of black soot sitting in this exhaust system here as a result of heating all that oil up.